Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch Darth Revan figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we've been seeing with all the Black Series figures. You've got the black box with the red background, the figure's clearly displayed. Down below you have the name and an image of the character. On the side of the packaging you have the red border and it tells us this is figure number 34 in the series. And then on the back of the packaging we have a brief bio in multiple languages. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now this figure was the winner of the 2015 Hasbro Fan Choice Poll, and that's why it was made into a figure. Now this character, if you're not familiar, was originally appeared in the Knights of the Old Republic video game and has since been in other things like books and such. I think actually was supposed to at one time going to appear in the Clone Wars cartoon, but ended up being scrapped. But as it is, this is a character who basically sometimes is known for being a Sith and sometimes for being a Jedi, and hence why you have the two different lightsabers. So we get a Sith lightsaber and a Jedi lightsaber, one with a purple blade and one with a red blade. And the sculpting detail on the handles for these are pretty good. I like the sculpting detail on the Jedi lightsaber blade better. It's got metallic silver and you've got a red and green dot painted on there, but I just like the overall sculpting of it a little bit better. And then the Sith lightsaber again has the red blade, and this one again is more plain looking. The handle's more plain looking. You have the metallic silver and you have some black and gold mixed in there, but out of the two I definitely like the Jedi lightsaber handle better than the Sith one. And then the blades for these are removable. You can pull them off. They just attach with a little peg like we see with all the lightsabers in this line. Now there's no kind of peg or hook or anything on the hilt, so there's no place to store these on the figure if you don't have the blade. But if you wanted to have it holding the lightsaber handle without the ignited blade, you can do that with these. And it'll hold the lightsabers nice and tight in either hand, so it doesn't really matter which hand you put the which saber in, and you can have him hold it regularly or you can kind of have him hold it so one's backwards. But again, he holds both of them nice and tight, which is good. Now technically it's not really made for this, but if you wanted to kind of store the lightsabers on the figure without the blades, you can kind of slide the handles up under this belt piece and kind of make it look like it's attaching to one of these loops on his belt. Again, it's not made to do that, but you can make it work basically if you wanted to. For the figure itself, I think Hasbro's done a nice job with the sculpting. I think they've done a pretty good job capturing the likeness of the character and how he appeared in the video game. Now if I remember correctly, I think you can actually play this character in the game as a male or female, but this figure definitely seems to be based more on the male appearance. And I like the head, I like the face sculpt with the mask. You've got some metallic silver and red and black, and the black over the visor of the eyes. And then the hood, this hood piece is kind of a vinyl material. It is separate from the head, but it's stiff enough that you can't like pull the hood back. So the head basically, and the hood doesn't move, so to turn the head you have to turn the head inside the hood. So that does limit significantly the head movement with the figure, but overall I think the hood looks pretty good and I like how they sculpted it. Now then for his chest, he's just got this kind of bronze metallic color with some black, same with on the arms. He's got a soft goods cape and it's tattered here at the bottom, and I think it comes off looking pretty good on the figure. It kind of drapes down below his feet, but I think it hangs well on the figure and again looks pretty true to how it appeared in the video game, so I like that. I like the sculpting with this belt piece with the rings. You've got this kind of bronze ring, and then you've got these silver rings that are sculpted on here that go all the way around the back of the figure, so I think that looks good. And then the belt kind of droops down, and this is just kind of it's a separate piece and it's done with that vinyl material. And then you've got this larger piece here that goes all the way down to his feet, and again it's done with a flexible type material. Then again he's got soft goods for this tunic piece that covers his legs. Underneath He's got just black for his pants, and then he's got a more metallic silver here on his feet. Got a little bit of bronze tint to it, but it's more silver than what we see up here on his chest and arms. And again, this soft goods piece is kind of tattered. Now I do have a little bit of, I've had a couple pieces of string fall off on this, just something to be careful. I like the tattered look, but over time I could see how this could easily fall apart if you're not careful. So this figure stands almost 6 inches exactly. Here's a comparison with the Kylo Ren Black Series figure and Darth Vader figures, and Revan looks to be the shortest of the bunch. And just for one more comparison, here's a look with the Battlefront Stormtrooper, the only other video game based figure that's been released in this line to date. For articulation, the head is attached with the ball hinge joint, but as I mentioned before, this hood piece really doesn't move much, so really all you can do is you can turn the head a little bit to the left and the right inside the hood there, and you can do it down a little bit, and you can do it up a little bit as well. But head movement is definitely limited with this figure because of the hood. The arms you can get out good, and again, because of this hood piece that comes down over his shoulders, that does limit the rotation of the arm, so you can do the arm forward, and you can do the arm back, but you can't really get it over his head. You can kind of do it out and over his head like that, but that's as good as it gets as far as that's concerned. Then you've got the single hinged elbow. There's no bicep swivel, but you've got a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much, and he's got rotation there at the elbow. He's also got rotation at the wrist, and he's got the hinges on the hands, so he's got good up and down movement with the hands. He's got a midsection joint, which really doesn't have much in the way of crunch. He really can't crunch down. You can kind of pivot to the left and the right a little bit, and he can look back maybe a tiny bit, and he's got rotation there at the midsection. He's also got a waist swivel, though it's kind of hard to access the waist swivel because of this belt piece and everything. Then the legs are attached with ball hinge joints, so he can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg forward about that much. The belt piece and the soft goods tunic piece kind of limit the leg movement a little bit, and then he can do his leg back about that much. He does have a thigh swivel. He's got a double hinge knee, so good bending there at the knee, and then he's got hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement, and he does have ankle pivot, and then 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I like the look of this figure. I like the sculpting detail. The paint applications are pretty solid. I think the soft goods cape on this one looks good. I am a little wary about the strings falling off on the bottom of both the cape and the tunic piece around his legs, so that's something you'll definitely want to watch. And then the articulation is a little bit limited on this one, mainly because of the head, the hood piece, and then the legs are a bit limited as well. But otherwise, again, I think it's a nice looking figure, and if you're a fan of this character, which he definitely is a cool looking character, I think this is one you'll want to add to your collection. Now this figure, along with the rest of the wave, has started to hit overseas. I don't believe it started hitting shelves here in the United States as of yet, and I don't have an exact release date. I'm going to guess probably in December at some point. We'll have a full image gallery up at JediInsider.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.